Musta uli mga ka-EFREN dyan? Lahat ng mga fans or diehard fans ni ka-EFREN, katulad ko. May gagawin lang ako reaction sa laban niya sa Derby Classic or Derby City Classic Round 6. Kalaban niya si Shane Wolford. Up and coming pool champion sa US or pool greatest player daw sa US. Okay, umpisa na natin.
Welcome everybody to a match already in progress. This is the Derby City Classic 2023 9-ball division, and it is round 6. As you see in our screen, we've got the great EFREN REYES versus America's young and up-and-comer Shane Wolford. I'd like to introduce my friend and guest for this match, Mr. Mark White. Mark White, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me. Another one up on my bucket list here, getting to commentate with you. And of course, it's a double whammy, the great EFREN REYES against this youngster from your country, of course, Shane Wolford. Good up-and-coming player. Nice bank shot there to get us underway.
Yeah, I agree, Mark, and it's an honor likewise. Shane Wolford, definitely a young and up-and-comer. He's running for Team USA this year, and I think he's got a legitimate chance. And as soon as I say that, Mark, he hangs up the purple 4.
Well, let's hope your sounder like Jeremy Jones isn't watching, because he won't like what he just saw there. I'm joking, of course.
No, I agree, and I understand. You know, we all have rough matches. I hope that's not what's to come here for Shane, but he is playing the GOAT, the greatest of all time, EFREN REYES. So let's see, Mark, if he can run this rack and take an early lead.
Yeah, and you have to take into consideration as well, you know, I'd mentioned his age there. Shane Wolford is a youngster, and he's probably grown up watching this great man, and to be, you know, at the same table as him is daunting, to say the least. So it might take a little while for Shane to just settle down a little bit.
Yeah, totally agree. He's got a persona to him at the table, and that is the one Mr. EFREN REYES. He's a little bit steep on this ball, so I'm wondering if he's going to be able to hold center table, I believe.
Yeah, nicely done. A little bit further away from the 8, maybe. Little angle on it. May have to play some kind of carom into the 9. I'm not sure if he can draw across the face of it. Carom it.
Oh, that's a nice call, Mark. That's a very nice call. And a nice carom from Reyes, sending the 9 towards the lower left corner pocket. And an opportunity that looks like he's going to take game number 1 in this round 6 match versus Shane Wolford. This video is brought to you in part by Bad Boys Billiard Productions. We want to thank you guys so much for your support. So, Mark.
Yeah, they do a lot of good work. Sorry, in you go.
So they have a special rack going on here, and they're not supposed to rack the 2 in the back. It's a random rack. The 9 is on the spot, and they're going to have a break box that is much smaller than what we are used to back in the day. But this is basically the matchroom rules, which I think is a great set of rules for 9-ball. What are your thoughts on the format?
I like it. I'm going to be honest and say I'm not a fan of winner breaks in a game where the break is so important. A bit like a serve in tennis, you know. if it's that important in a game, I think both players should have equal chance of having a go at the break. That's the only thing I might change. I like the break box. I like the 9 on the spot. Apart from that, what I just mentioned, I think it's a good thing. And we just mentioned the 2 cannot go at the back of the rack. Look, and there it is. It's gone at the back of the rack.
What do you know? What do you know? And you know what, Mark? I have to agree with you there. And I don't know that it's my age getting to me, but I think alternate the break is probably the best move due to the ability of the players nowadays and the liability of the break. So I think you're on to something there. What do you think here? Do you think the 1 passes the 5?
I think it does pass the 5. It's, guaranteed position, really. You might have to put just a little bit of pace in it. He's got the 2 combo over the corner
Pasok sa
pocket
side
there, the
pocket
2
yan
and
ng
4.
ball.
Tough shot.
Si EFREN pa.
Yes, it is a tough shot.
Ah!
And in our defense for you folks at home, this is the only
Hindi pala si
angle
EFREN ang
that Mark
tumira,
and I
si
are
Shane.
able to work with, and it's better than
Kung
no
si
angle
EFREN
at
yun,
all.
pasok yun.
We're excited to bring you the action. It looks like Reyes is faced with some type of a safety or possibly a 2-way shot. He could play the bank and maybe run the cue ball down towards the 2 or play some type of a defensive play, Mark.
Safety. Kung di man papasok yung 1 ball,
Yeah, he called it right.
safety
I
yan.
think he's going to go for the bank and the safety at the same time.
Yun, galing talaga. Ang galing pa rin
This is
EFREN.
nicely done. He's gotten on the carom.
Yung nga lang, yung 2
And we all
balls,
know
niro
how good
alanganin.
EFREN
Alanganin
Reyes
dito
kicks,
sa side, o
and
sa
he probably plays caroms
corner pocket.
as good as anybody on the planet, in my opinion. So he's going to look to play position at the same time, Mark.
Yeah, he's looking to play the 2
Medyo
off of the 3
nag-aalangan
as well, by the looks
si
of it,
Magician.
for some kind of position on it into the pocket where he's standing. Just has to control the cue ball as well.
Medyo
though. Obviously
naalangan
making
siya dyan
4.
sa position na
All
yan.
about the 2 and the cue ball, isn't it?
Safety na lang, safety. Safety.
Yeah, and that's a pretty
Wala.
good call
Hindi
there.
nakita pa
He
rin.
was playing the 2 into the 3 to control the 2 ball.
Kita.
So that's an excellent call. I'm pretty certain he can pocket this 2 without any problems and hold for the 3 in the top side pocket.
Oy!
He's
Patay ka
overcut
dyan.
it.
Yeah, he's overcut this ball by quite some margin.
Patay si Bata.
What do you think, Scott? Was he maybe concentrating too much on holding for the 3 ball and just took his eye off it, maybe?
3 balls, side pocket
Yeah, it's
din.
very possible. He jumped up there quite a bit. We didn't see him do much of that last rack, so he was uncomfortable about something, and it's probably what you said, probably concerned on holding for the 3.
Yun. 5 balls. Side pocket ulit.
Our bodies don't lie, do they, Scott? When we're a little bit anxious, it shows in either the cue action or our body movement, a little bit of body English on it, maybe.
Little
This
bit
is a
of
tough
bad
one, though,
English.
down the rail.
Yeah, he's made it a little tougher than he needed to. I think he could have actually gotten a little
Hindi side
closer, but he's
pocket,
hit this
doon
one
niya
very
pinasok pala sa
clean.
sa corner.
He's got 4 balls left on the table, and I don't see any trouble, Mark.
6 balls, 7 balls.
Eight's in a nice position.
Nako,
Having said that,
patay
what's he
kang
done
bata
there,
ka.
Scott? Bit of a quick
Nako.
stroke, I think.
Ubos.
Of course,
2-0
it's the
2-0 na.
commentator's curse. It's the all-time commentator's curse.
Yeah, that's your fault, that one. I'm marking that one down to Scott Frost. If you're listening, guys, that was Scott Frost, not Mark White.
Side pocket to.
Yeah, and Reyes looking to clean this up again and make quick work of 2 games. I'm sure this will loosen him up as well.
Just what a phenomenon, isn't he? I can't even say it. What a phenomenon.
Yeah, he's done it all, right? I think he's won the all-around here at the Derby City Classic 5 times. Winning one tournament is a dream of almost anyone's. To win the all-around or the master of the table 5 times is unbelievable.
5
EFREN
times.
Reyes takes game number 2.
Nanalo dyan. Nag-champion.
Also would like to thank our sponsors. This video was brought to you in part by Bad Boys Billiard Productions.
Bad Boys.
Thank you so much for your support. Mark, EFREN was short on the 9. He was a little short on pocketing the 1 in the side last time. I wonder if he's even playing the 1 in the side. He might have a different plan. Maybe he's thinking he can other ball. I've noticed the 7 ball going 1 rail, excuse me, the 8 going 1 rail to the top side pocket, and it's tracking that way almost every time. Let's take a look at it this time.
I will say he's been a naughty boy again and put that 2 ball at the back, but who's going to question EFREN Reyes?
No, you're right about that. Now, I don't know if Shane even realizes that. Let's keep an eye on the 8 and see if that tracks 1 rail towards the side.
Bit more pace and it would have gone, wouldn't it? You were right.
Yeah, so if it has a little more pace, like you said, Mark, it's going to get into the drink, and he's going to have a shot on the 1. But instead, Shane Wolford's back at the table. He's had a couple missed opportunities, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's those nerves that you were talking about playing. You know, it's who he's playing. He's not playing the table. He's playing the man at the moment. Needs to settle down. He's going to have to go away from the 2 here, but that's okay. He's nicely on it. Everything out in the open. Can't see any problems. Can you, Scott?
No, I don't see any problems, and I agree. It's easier said than done to play the table versus your player, especially when you're faced with a man like EFREN Reyes. So that could be a lot of the problem. And I know another thing, Mark, and Shane Wolford's trying out for Team USA this year. Not sure how he's going to do, but he's really working hard to make team, and it would be great to see him make Team USA. He definitely has the ability.
Yeah, he's kind of, I call him old school American. You know, he travels around, doesn't travel abroad too much. I kind of put him in the same ilk as maybe like Sky Woodward. You know, he's that kind of player, the way Sky was when he was growing up.
I totally agree. He seems like a Sky Woodward, a natural straight shooter with a real mild temper. He doesn't show any emotion, and Sky was really that way as well. Nice play there on the 3 and the 8. Does the 4 pass? I believe it does.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Yeah, so if the 4 passes, all he's gotta do is come back out for the 5. He's a straight shooter. Come back out for the 5, and the rest is self-explanatory. I don't see any problems. Mark wants to get off the rail here.
Makawan ka. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the cue that
in favor of EFREN.
Shane is using. I thought he was a wood player the last time I saw him. Maybe I'm wrong.
The Shane that I know, that I've watched play all year, he's been playing. He's gone to the dark side, I should say, and I know that that's something that he's really liked, and I think it suits his style. I think it really suits his style, as straight as he shoots.
Yun. Nalo pa man lang kahit isa.
Yeah, seems to have settled down a little bit now, hasn't he? Getting that stroke going a little bit better than it was at the start.
Totally agree. When he gets that fluid motion going, it doesn't
like that.
It doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't look difficult. He makes it look very easy. He's one of the best shot makers in this country.
Yeah, Yeah, I like these using quite a long bridge, and he gets a nice long backswing, slight pause, and then
Yun.
goes smooth. Can't go wrong, can
At least
it?
naka-1
Beautiful.
ka.
Yeah, his through motion is very, very good. And this
Hustlin'.
stream is completely sponsored by Hustlin' USA, JB Custom Cases, Jerry Olivier Custom Cues, and Littman Lights. Thank you guys so much for your support. We couldn't do it without you. So it's our chance to see Shane break the balls, Mark, and I have a feeling he's going to hit him with a little more pace. Let's see what he does. I'm pretty certain he's going to play the one on the side. Most of these Mosconi Cup guys are doing that.
Yeah, the Matchroom break, I mean, they did it for a great reason in my eyes. I think it was becoming boring with, you know, the break being so predictable. Now with this, as we see Shane racking the two at the back as well, so I guess it's just one of them things. I know it's the way it used to be. It doesn't really matter to me that much. I don't know why I keep going on about it, to be honest.
So he's caught the one a hair thick, Mark. Does the two go? He's already made one.
Pasok ang tres,
I
one
mean,
ball.
he's in pretty good position.
Two
The
ball
only thing I
nasa
see
bunganga
here
na
is
eh.
he's elevated over the two.
One ball.
What do you think?
Yeah, he made the wing ball, I think, on that occasion, hitting them thick. And I think he's okay here.
He might actually bank this back at the two.
Yeah, it's a good call.
And it's turned out a little tougher than he expected. I don't know if he can go forward.
Yeah, he might have to draw. Can he draw it, though? Hit it a little bit thick and draw it.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a very good question.
I thought that was Jesus Asensio just popped into the picture there. It wasn't. It was Michael Jednak, I believe. Was it? Oh, no, it's Mickey Krause, look. Third time lucky.
Oh. Ayan,
Third time lucky Mickey Krause, and he's had a heck of a season and an up-and-coming young player.
Safety pala yon.
Yeah, really, really. Sort not unknown, but maybe unknown by a few. Certainly not unknown by players, let's put it that way.
Shot lang ni EFREN yan.
Agreed. EFREN's got a kick to the backside of this one. I know when he's
Tapos,
kicking at the ball,
safety siguro,
you're
safety.
usually in trouble.
Yun. Safety nga, oh. Ah, kita.
He stuck out.
Kita.
Yeah, it has snuck out. He's going to have an opportunity here, but this is a tester. This is a tester of that backswing. Let's see how good he goes through the ball. He can use the 5 to guide him towards the 4.
Yeah, did it very, very nicely. I'll tell you, a player, another left-hander is very good at that type of shot, Josh Filler. I mean, Josh Filler's great at all shots, but that is kind of his signature shots. A little bit close to the rail, digging down slightly, but still gets that lovely stroke through the ball. Good shot.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. I'm a little concerned here, Mark. The 8 is a big ball to get back here for the 5, so I think that Shane wants to just come above the 6 if he can. I don't know that the angle brings him back to the 5, so maybe anywhere in the center of the table and just take what you can on the 5.
Yeah, looks like it. Where he's aiming on the cue ball, not doing too much with it. Oh, he tried to do a lot with it. And he's got very lucky. Is it going to hold up? Is it going to hold up? It is. He's perfect on the 5 as well.
Yeah, he's turned out perfect. He's fluked the 4, and he's turned out perfect on the 5. That tells me that going forward the way he did, it was even tougher than we thought.
Yeah, he didn't play the bank there on the 4-ball, that's for sure.
No, he definitely didn't play the bank. He looks like he's good here. I think he can draw out.
Oh,
just like so.
what a touch. Just go through short side on the 8-ball here.
Yeah, he's a little behind
Too old
the
na to.
ball. I don't think he wanted to be there. If he can knock this down with position, Mark, he'll tie this match up at 2 games apiece in game number 4.
2 games apiece.
You mentioned EFREN's kicking. I mean, I don't think I've ever
2
seen him miss a
games
kick shot.
apiece.
Obviously known as the best kicker in the world, but not
galing,
really a
nakahabol
jumper.
ah.
But just touching on the
Tayo
jump
na,
shots
tay.
for a moment in this particular format that we're playing here at Derby City. No jump cues allowed, of course, so there might be, I mean, you can jump with your playing cue, but that's not very likely very often. So maybe that's something that
kalaban,
might just favour EFREN in this match.
nakahabol.
I totally agree. EFREN's a world-class 3-cushion player. World-class 3-cushion player, and all of his one-pocket ability, taking away the jump cue, to your point, I think is a huge advantage for Reyes, especially in a format like this. And this entire event is hosted by Diamond Billiard Products, Ian Simonis with Simonis Cloth, Aramith Billiard Balls, Outsville AccuRack, AccuStats Video Productions, and Masters Billiard Chalk. Thank you guys so much. Wolford to break. Boy, he's hit it just a hair thick again. The 1 catches the point. Does the 3 cover the 1 up, or can EFREN see it? And I don't think it has a pocket, Mark. The 1, that is. I don't believe it does.
Yeah, might see the push out here. And for those of you not familiar with the game, a push out can be played after the break by either player, incoming player. And, you know, this kind of, you want to push to somewhere where they can't really play a good shot, but you still have a shot in mind in case they give it back to you.
Agreed, Mark. And this is a pretty clever push. He utilized the 4 to his ability and put it over there left of the lower side pocket. Notice the green 6 that's going to cover the 4 up in the lower left corner. It's going to cause more work in the future. And this tells me that the 1 doesn't go because Shane isn't jumping up to shoot it.
Yeah, just probably thin off the bottom side of the 1 as we look. Cue ball back up the other end of the table.
Yeah, that's a great call, Mark. That's a great call. And he hit it exactly like you said. I don't know that EFREN can see the 1.
I think we're going to see more of the class kicking from this man. I still want to call him a young man because he still looks young around the table and sprightly.
Yeah, I totally agree. He does look young and sprightly. And you'd have to figure he's going to make good contact with this.
So how good in your eyes is Shane Wolford? I mean, there's been talk of Nick DeLeon, of Oscar Dominguez making the team again. A name that comes up a lot is Jeremy Sauce.
Yeah, so Nick DeLeon first. He's from Phoenix. He's a great player. He works really, really hard at his game. I've watched him improve over the last couple of years, leaps and bounds. Jeremy Sauce has been around a long time. Actually a seasoned player. He just doesn't play a lot of major events. Great shot by Wolford there. I think, in my opinion, Mark, since you're asking the question, I think that this young man is close. I'm not sure if he's all the way there yet. I think he's close, but you can't really go wrong picking young nerves that have the straight shooting ability of Shane Wolford.
Yeah, and I think in a team event, chemistry is so important as well. And we all know he's great friends with Sky Woodward. It's kind of like the American version of David Al-Qaeda and Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz, right? They're always at tournaments together. They're always knocking around together.
No, that's a great point, and you do have to have that camaraderie, especially in the Mosconi Cup. So I think that's a valid point. Wolford there moving the 4, which is a great play. That was the 4 that Reyes tied up early on, Mark.
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant, that shot. I mean, in snooker, I used to be a snooker player, you know. We play those shots a lot, nudging reds out, nudging reds off the rail because you don't want them on the rail. Really was. And what I liked about it was he'd done it at his first opportunity that he could. Really, really attacking shot. So EFREN's plan has gone out the window, unfortunately.
It has, and you have to wonder if EFREN's going to hold up in this match. You'd like to believe he could, but as you stated earlier, Wolford looking more comfortable as every shot goes on.
Yeah, I think it's a case of a little bit starstruck right at the beginning, seeing his idol probably breaking off and thinking, wow, I'm actually here playing against a great man. And first couple of shots, a little bit on edge, but he's certainly settled down now, and he's certainly got the stroke and the game and the knowledge, as we just saw when he nudged that 4 out. So I'm looking forward to a great performance here from Shane Wolford.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. He's fallen a little flat here. I feel like he's got to power this.
Yeah, that's okay. Pretty good. It's got a nice angle on it, which he wants. Positional wise, no problem. So concentrate 100% on the pot. Keep that head still and just deliver that cue through.
Yeah, totally agree. And he does have a natural angle. I think he played that pretty sharp, pretty smart play, actually. He knows he's going to get down here for the 8. All he had to do was pot the 7. He's done that, but he's fallen pretty flat on the 8 as well. So let's see what he does here.
He might maybe play a big draw, or maybe just try and steal a little bit and just make players stun for the... Oh, he's going forwards. He's parrying.
Yeah, he is going forward. I wonder if he's... Okay, he's going to the side, Mark, and that's a smart play if you ask me. Less cue ball movement.
Yeah, I thought he was going to put a bit more into that and try and get onto it in the corner, but as you say, very, very nice shot. And he's going to take the lead here from being 2-0 down. It's 3 on the trot.
Yes, and it is 3 on the drop. So after game number 5, Shane Wolford leads 3 games to 2. And it's his break. And one thing I wanted to touch on real quick, Mark, was that EFREN Reyes has had a history of shoulder injuries, and I'm pretty sure he had a shoulder surgery. So I know that affects him in a couple different ways. It affects him in his break-off, and it also affects him when he's elevated. Can you imagine finishing 3rd in a one-pocket tournament with 500 players at 69 years old with a shoulder that barely works? And it's also his stroke arm and shoulder that's damaged. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. I think he's playing too much chess. That's where the shoulder injury is coming from. He's got to lay off the chess a bit more.
There you go. And look at this. They're still racking the 2 on the back, Mark. So I don't think anybody's given them the memo. And like you said, it doesn't bother me either. So I think that they're allowed to carry on.
Yeah, EFREN did come and check the rack then.
3-2 na, 3-2.
Had a quick look. Now he does make the 1.
Yeah, there we finally see the 1. Does he get a shot on the 3? I believe he can cut at this.
Yeah, and 9 will be on the move as well. So, attention all pockets here. Anything.
Kuha sa tiyaga.
Yeah, he's gonna cut at this, Mark. I believe he's gonna cut at this. He's gonna go into the 9, but if he uses an inside English, that cue ball should carry through and get out somewhere past the 7,
Saan papasukin
maybe out
niya?
in the center of the table.
Dito sa corner. Pasok na sa corner. Tama. 4 balls. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's okay.
4, 5, 6,
It's got a
8 yan. Wala
nice
yung
shot
7
at the
o
four
wala yung
ball.
8.
Can play it round 2 rails back to the centre of the table for the 5. Into the bottom left as we look. So, good opportunity. He might even be drawing to the rail and back out again, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I believe so. He's going to have to power this a little bit. And this is something that Shane Wolford, young Shane Wolford, takes on. He likes to take these longer shots on. Whereas a player such as myself, Mark, I want to be about a foot from that 5 ball.
Yeah, and with the youngsters now coming through as well, you see they're using the draw to the side rail rather than going round the angles a lot more as well. They just feel more comfortable drawing the ball than they do, or stunning it than they do following.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think one of the reasons is they've figured out that the cue ball's not going to skid or slide on them as much when they're using that stun and that draw and that outside English. So, very good point. They're using it a lot more than they used to back in the old days.
Just waiting for the guy on the next table to play his shot. Can't see who that is at the moment. I wonder who that is on the next table. Can you go on, name that player? Is that Jeremy Sosay? No.
It's a good question, but I don't believe it is. I mean, he actually looks like it over the ball, but I don't think it is.
Answers on an email. Who is that?
Wolford just going to punch out to the top end of the table. He really looks like he's settled in, Mark.
Yeah, and the table looks like it's playing absolutely beautifully as well. I mean, the rails are bouncing consistently. They're getting the pace of the bed of the table as well. So, and Shane Wolford just beginning to pull away slightly. It's the Shane Wolford show at the moment.
Yes, it sure is the Shane Wolford show. And after game number 6, Shane Wolford 4 on the drop, leading 4 games to 2. I am your host, Scott Frost. Thank you so much.
Mark
with
White.
The one and only Mark White.
Scott Frost.
Yeah,
Mark
thank God
White.
there's only one of me. That's what my mum says.
I love it. I love it. So are they going to continue to rack this 2 on the back, Mark? I think they're just going to do this the whole match. And you never know. They might have agreed to that, right? You never know. 2 players can agree to something, whether it's right or wrong. I don't know. But the 2 on the back is very difficult in this format to play position on.
Let's take a look at the break. Yeah, made the wing ball again in the corner, the 4, made the 3 in the side as well, shot at the 1, 2 ball goes past the 4. It's looking pretty rosy for Mr. Wolford.
1, 2.
Yeah, it's looking very rosy, Mark. He got good contact. He hit those full again, but
4 balls, 8
to your
balls,
point
1,
earlier, when he's catching them full,
6,
he's making
7.
that corner ball. What do you do here, Mark? Do you come 1 rail out, or can you come 2 rails out above the 2?
Yeah, I think 2.
Nako.
Oh, mind that side pocket as well, though. Look, he's missed the 1 and almost
Gagalingan na ni ano to?
scratched in the side.
Ni Bata.
That's a poor shot.
Yeah, and it looked like he was kind of in between, right? Like he didn't know if he wanted to come all the way over and out or if he just wanted to hold center table. It looked like he was kind of in between decisions. Maybe he should have got off the ball. But that is an error for Shane Wolford. Let's see if Reyes can take advantage.
Yeah, 100%
Ano
what
daw
you
eh,
just
sabi,
said.
don't give
He was,
Reyes
we
an
say,
opportunity.
betwixt and between. He wasn't sure, hadn't made up his mind, and it showed in the shot that he played. He kind of played a mixture of both, got nothing, and it went completely wrong, and it should now cost him this rack.
Because if you will
Yeah, and
give
I'm still
Reyes an
amazed at
opportunity,
Reyes
you
under
will
the
sit
pressure
down
at
the whole
69
match,
years old.
the entire match.
Yes, he's supposed to get out here, but he doesn't have to. Wolford has won 4 games straight.
6 balls, 6, 7, 8. 5 balls nga ang kasabay sa break. 5 balls saka 3 balls ang pumasok.
I mean, the stroke's still there, in my opinion. I mean, it's the familiar stroke that we've been seeing for years and years and years. Maybe there's a little bit more movement than there used to be. So because he's not textbook, it's going to show up any little errors in his game a little bit more at his age. But still pretty. There you saw the cue coming right across the kind of a angle. What would you say? An anxious kind of cue action there.
4-3 na to, 4-3.
Yeah, I agree, but to your point, his through motion is really nice. He's still got the same stroke. He's just putting a little body English on it, Mark. Just a little body English, that's all.
Kapos konti.
Yeah, exactly.
Kulang sa lakas. Kulang
He's
sa
been
lakas.
doing it for however long he's been playing pool, so just keep what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Ay, galing.
Yes, EFREN Reyes takes this out, right? So he's going to get back within 1 after game number 7, and it's now his break. And I always enjoy watching these guys break the balls because I'm trying to learn myself, as this format and this break-off is very difficult. And I do agree with you with what you said earlier. I think 9-ball was close to a broken game until Matchroom came along and implemented these box rules and where you're racking the 9. I think it's major, and I think that moving the 2 around in random areas is vital because these guys are so good, Mark, as you're playing position on the 2 because they know they can make the 1 90% of the time. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that break box thing again. I read somewhere that it was actually used in. We got a little bit of time because EFREN wasn't happy with that rack, so he's going to start them all off again. I heard that it was first used back in 2013, the break box. Is that right or not?
So I know we had the break box, but it wasn't as extreme as this break box. The initial break box was from diamond to diamond, right? So you see the center diamond at the top rail. It was the diamond to the left and the diamond to the right would come all the way out to the second diamond. So it was a very large break box. It's totally different now, and the difference with that also, Mark, is that we weren't racking the 9 on the spot. That changed everything.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing for the game. I'll actually ask you at the end of this rack, I'd like to know what your favourite game is, what race it would be, whether we would use, I'm talking about 9-ball or 10-ball here, not one pocket. What would be your favourite game? What would be your favourite race? What would the break format be? Would it be winner breaks? And would it be template rack or would it be triangle rack? So perhaps we can have a little chat about that after this rack.
Well, Reyes comes up light on the break, and that's something to do with that shoulder injury, in my opinion. I think that Wolford can come 2 rails tight to the 3rd rail, and he's done that. He wants the cue ball to settle. Hopefully he can get into the 3, but I think he's come a little too far. He might be able to play the 3-4 combination, Mark.
Yeah, I was just thinking if he can come thin off the left-hand side of the 8-ball, 8 ball as we look. Maybe he might be able to get some kind of carom. If not, as you say, yeah, he's got the combo.
Yeah, and he went into the 8 thicker than I expected, probably thicker than you expected as well. He does have a pretty good combo, and the only reason I say that, Mark, is he's close to the 3, so he can judge this pretty easily, but he looks to be maybe playing safe. And I think that was a good decision.
I think he might be able to get to it with a slight swerve. Yeah.
Yeah, he can get to it. I don't know that he can go into the ball first or that he wants to go into the ball first. It looks to me like he might take another route, because the problem here is, Mark, if he does go with the swerve, doesn't make it, I think he's going to be concerned about selling the 3 out, leaving Wolford easy.
3 rails, mate. 3 rails now. Missed the 7.
And this is what this man does the best.
Ang galing. Did you safety pa, oh?
He was so close there to making that ball. It's probably a lot underrated. People probably don't realize how close he was to making that ball. He hit it very, very good. Hit it on the pro side, as we call it.
Ulitin nga natin, ilang rail yung bandang.
Okay, it was a pretty big ball where it was, but
Ulitin natin, ha? Ulitin lang natin konti.
And I think that was a good decision.
1, 2, 3.
I think he might be able to get to it with a slight swerve.
3 rails.
Yeah, he
shot.
can get to it. I don't know that he can go into the ball first or that he wants to go into the ball first.
3 rails.
It looks to me like he might take another route, because the problem here is, Mark, if he does go with the swerve, doesn't make it, I think he's going to be concerned about selling the 3 out, leaving Wolford easy.
3 rails, mate. 3 rails now. Missed the 7.
Galing mo. Paano
this is what this
ni
man
EFREN
does
talaga,
the
kasi
best.
naglalaro siya ng mga carom. Ang galing, oh. Pero medyo
He was
kita lang.
so close there to making that ball.
Kita lang
It's
konti.
probably
Kita lang para
a lot underrated. People probably don't realize how close he was to making that ball. He hit it very, very good. Hit it on the pro side, as we call it.
Kick shot din ni Wolford muna
Yeah, I
yan.
mean, okay, it was a pretty big ball where it was, but to hit it as accurately as he did there, but unfortunately he's left the rail first here, just to stroke this in.
Na-rail muna niya. Kick shot nga.
Yeah, he doesn't want this cue ball getting
5-3,
away from him.
pag
I think
nanalo
he's
si
okay
dito,
here.
5-3 na.
He could come above the 5, but it looks like he can hold for the side.
Yeah, he can stroke this in with that nice action he's got. He could even come 2 rails if he wants to. Drag it round into the corner and out. Can just float it in. He's got options.
4, 5,
Yeah,
6,
I totally
7,
agree. He does
8.
have options here. I personally might just float this in with a touch of left,
five
but
ang
he
mahirap
looks like he might be hitting it with a
i-press
little
niya.
pace and going past the 5. That's what he's done. I like this decision, Mark.
Ang galing.
Yeah, it just lets you, you know,
Delikado sa
playing it
scratch.
softly, you can decelerate on it and not complete the stroke and end up missing the ball. I always like to try and keep the stroke going if you can. Just play up and down the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's sometimes where I get caught in between playing one pocket and playing rotation. When I get to rotation games, I tend to want to roll balls a little often, and it's not the right way. Sometimes I make that mistake, but I can tell you what, Wolford doesn't look like he's going to make any mistakes.
No, he's gone maybe a little bit nearer to that side rail than he wanted with that. Got some unwanted English on it, I think. got a little bit too much right-hand spin on it, which teased the cue ball over to that top rail as we look. But he can draw this in and hold it.
And I think it carries a natural position. He just got to float over. But he's hit this too thick, Mark. And another opportunity for Reyes.
Yeah, and that was a case of playing the position instead of playing the pot. You know, he was hell-bent on holding for the 8-ball. And in the end, just completely hit it too thick, trying to hold it.
Dikit sa rail lang.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he caught it that thick. This shot here is a pool player's nightmare. The cue ball so close to the rail. He's kind of going into what we call a blind ball. Boy, what a hit.
Ang galing.
What a shot that was.
Wala pang,
What a shot.
walang isang dangkal yung preparasyon.
Yeah, great shot. He's real tight. I think he's going to hold there, Mark. Yeah, he is going to hold there. Just punch forward just a fraction. And a big opportunity for Reyes late in game number 8 with an uncharacteristic miss on the 7 from Wolford.
Yun. Gigil pa kundi. Nagigil pa. Ang galing.
And Shane was just beginning to get a real good foothold in this game. Came from 2-0 to take a 4-2 lead, then it's gone 4-3, now it's 4-4. Might be putting a little bit of doubt in Shane Wolford's mind now.
Yeah, you've got to wonder if he's starstruck again, right? He was comfortable, and then maybe he forgot that he was playing EFREN Reyes, and the next thing you know, maybe he looked up and saw EFREN and realized he's playing EFREN Reyes. You just never know.
Perhaps that's why EFREN came and had a look at the rack. He's a wily old professional, isn't he? He knows. If anyone, I'm not saying he knows tricks, but if anyone knows the game, it's EFREN Reyes. He might have just come and had a look at that rack to say, you're still playing EFREN Reyes, you know, you might be 4-2 up, but I'm still here.
No, and that's a great point, Mark. I mean, it does tell your opponent, especially a young Shane Wolford, it tells your opponent, hey, I am still here. And look at this. What do we notice about this rack? The blue 2 is no longer in the back.
Yeah, I wonder if that is a tactical thing as well, because they've both been deliberately racking that 2 at the back. Now it's changed. I wonder, has EFREN spotted something?
It's a good question. Let's see how he hits these. His shoulder action is really struggling, but he's pocketed the 1 this time, Mark. If the 2 gets up, he's got a shot in the side. He looks to be okay here.
Yeah, don't be surprised if he banks this either, this 2 ball. Look where the 3 is. 4 hanging over the pocket. This is a good chance to take the lead again at the business end of this race to 9.
I totally agree. He could bank this and miss the 3 a lot easier. If he cuts it, I think he's got to go into the 7. It looks like he's going to play the cut with an inside English. If it catches the 7, meaning the cue ball, it's going to spin back out towards the center of the table, at least in that direction.
I like the fact, though, that he keeps getting up. Hasn't really made up his mind, but now he has. Wow, that will do, won't it?
It will do, Mark. It definitely will do. And I like the fact that he decided to just go ahead and go through that ball and ensure the fact that he's going to pocket it instead of worrying so much about position. Sometimes you've got to do that.
And that is why, I mean, he looked at that several times, and it's exactly what was on his mind. I wouldn't mind guessing, you know, I'm going to make this 7 or it's going to be pretty close.
Agreed. He knew he was going to go into that. He used all the pocket there. He's okay on this 4. I think he's going to come around 3 rails, or can he come around 1 rail? like this to
Galing
bounce, wouldn't he? Like
talaga
a
ni
little
Magician.
room to dig into that cue ball.
Ang galing talaga ni Magician.
Yeah, and
6
it's a
balls.
shoulder shot again, isn't it,
Ayaw
for him? He's going to have to
palalabasin lang niya doon ng
raise
6
the
balls.
back end of the
Ang
cue
cue
if
ball.
he's going to dig down here. Could take his medicine and roll through. I'm not sure if he could get past the 8, could he, to leave the 6 into this bottom right as we look.
Yeah, and it seems like when the cue ball's off this far, he can get into it enough to either punch out or draw out. I think he can, but it looks like he's staying level, Mark. Wow.
Oh, he had some angle. What a shot. Get off the rail again, though.
Yeah, and this makes life difficult, right? One bad position shot to another, and I'm not saying the first one was bad, but when you get straight or on the rail, things never seem to get easier.
Mahirap tumira nga pagka malapit sa rail yung cue ball.
Doesn't it? The next shot is
Pero sila
slightly more
EFREN sanay na
difficult,
sa
and the
ganyan.
next one is even more difficult.
Tingnan mo.
Yeah, it's just one too far, I think.
Malaking factor yung nakadikit sa
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Nakadikit sa rail ng cue ball.
Wolford's got a big opportunity here to get back in this game here and take the lead back. He's floundered just a little bit. It's common, and like I've mentioned, this tournament is a grueling tournament, the most grueling tournament in the world. So I believe that fatigue for both players is a real thing.
Yeah, one of the questions that I'm always asked is pool a sport or a game? Well, it's certainly a sport in my eyes. You have to be super fit. That you are athletes these days. You have to be. It's not like any other game where you know what time you're playing, how long you're going to play for. It can be you're playing at 9 a.m. in the morning. It could be you're playing. Well, famously, Federal Gorse, wasn't it, one year played 8 a.m. in the morning, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in this tournament, I couldn't agree more. I fully believe it's a sport. It's a sport. There's nothing but attrition involved in this event. You have to be ready to play, and if you aren't, you're going to go out quick. But Wolford does take game number 9, leading 5 games to 4, and we see on the bottom of Shane's name that 60%. So they've got EFREN as a 20% dog, 40-60, to win this match, and he's only trailing 1 game, Mark. I'm not against the Fargo rate, or how familiar you are with it in the United States, but there are some numbers that just don't add up to me.
Yeah, and especially as EFREN is 10 points higher in the Fargo as well. That seems a little bit strange to me. Maybe it's just to be a little dramatic. Oh, does 9 ball count on the break? Is there golden breaks?
Yes, the 9 does count on the break. That could have been a golden break. He is elevated over the 3 a little bit here, or at least hampered over the 3. I think here you really just need to bear down with a touch of love.
Elevated nga sa
really
3.
focus on pocketing this 1. Everything else leads to each other. I don't see any trouble after he gets this 1 down.
Tabingin naman eh.
Yeah, and I think if he does play it the way you just said, the cue ball will be coming very near to the 9 ball.
Well, once again, Mark, I think his mind was split, right?
Clean up na naman ni bata to.
The 1 and pocketing the 9, where you're really in that position are supposed to make the 1. The 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 are not laying bad at his level, so I think that's another error on Shane Wolford.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it went through my mind trying to play the 9 at the same time, but as we've already said, playing 2 shots at once rarely works.
Oh. Ubos na ng bola na
keeping it
naman. 5
simple
all na
now.
naman to.
Not trying to do too
Habol na naman
much.
si Bata.
May have finished just a little bit straighter on this than he would have liked. Can still go forwards, I think.
5 all.
I agree. He has fallen
Sino
a
kaya
little
manalo
bit
dito?
flat. Looks like he's going to use a low cue ball.
Bah, pinaatras.
Watch the
How
side.
did he strike that?
Buti na lang.
How well did he time that ball, though, Scott? Oh,
Agreed. His timing there was excellent. He pocketed that ball with a lot of confidence.
Galing.
Didn't pocket that with
Galing.
a lot of confidence. Had a lot of body movement, but the ball continues to go in the hole, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Oop.
yeah, touch of the Alex Higgins there. I know they've played together a few times when Alex was still alive. God rest his soul. What a talent that guy was.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I
Nako.
followed him a lot.
5
I did
all.
a lot of research on him. An amazing character, but also an amazing person, in my opinion.
Yun.
He stood up for what he believed in,
Galing.
and I thought he was a great guy and one of the most naturally talented
Galing,
snooker
nakahabol
players
si
to ever
Bata.
play the
5
game.
all.
Yeah, and you could argue without Alex Higgins, there
Sino
would have
kaya
been
ang
no
unang
Jimmy White. And without Jimmy White, there would have been no Ronnie O'Sullivan. Who
makatungtong sa
knows
heel.
where the game might be now had Alex Higgins not been exactly who he was.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So look at this, Mark. It's now 54% in favor of Reyes, 46% to Wolford. In one game switch like that, I don't know. I'm not knocking the numbers. I just don't know if this is a flawless system, I guess I should say.
I think that percentage now is purely based on EFREN Reyes being 10 points ahead in the Fargo rating. I'm pretty sure that's all it is.
And that's probably exactly what it is. Reyes to break the balls. Is he going to get a ball down? He broke dry last time. Let's keep an eye on the 7 cross side into the top side pocket. Well, I really failed there, but the 9 is going.
Golden break.
It will count, Mark. So Reyes is going to take a 6-5 lead, and this is all stemming back from the 7 ball that Shane missed, and it's kind of sent him into a little tailspin.
May sabing mahina si EFREN sa break.
Yeah, I mean, Shane's only got himself to blame. You know, there's been several times throughout this match where he could have really put it to bed, kind of thing. But
may technique talaga sa kay EFREN kahit mahina ang niya.
And
may
now,
may technique yun.
Again, at 6-5, if he can make a ball on the break here, who knows, maybe even the 9 ball, but if he can make a ball on the break here,
6-5. Tatlo na lang si EFREN para manalo.
Just needing 2 more. So
naman, 4
Shane
para
really
manalo.
has to, I think, to use your term, bear down a little bit more now. Just take a little bit more time. And, well, you know, this could be slipping away from him.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's the 7. He's put some right-hand spin on this. Is the 5 going to drop? I believe he's pocketed a ball, but he's not going to come away with a shot.
3,
so this is where the
4,
all-important
5, 6,
push-out, as Mark was discussing earlier, comes into play.
Where are you looking at pushing out here?
Walang push out.
Well, he's quickly going to this rail, and I don't think he's made contact the way he wanted with that cue ball.
Shane's put him straight back in.
Says,
I don't want anything to do with that. Show us what you've got, EFREN.
Yeah, exactly. So EFREN wanted to catch a little more of that cue ball. He raised the tip of his cue the last second, and he's forced to go to the top rail.
Side pockets big here though with the 5 there. Oh, he's gone into the corner.
Muntik pa.
Well, he's left it. Good decision
Kamuntik
from
pa.
Shane Wolford. Now then, Shane. Here's your
Ganyan kagaling
chance.
si Magician.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. This is your chance, and these balls are available, right? You've got to bear down, focus on this one, get somewhere up there where the cue ball's at now. If the 2 doesn't pass the 7,
He's going high. So coming all the way back maybe for the 2 in the side.
boy, he's put a good stroke on it. It seems to me he's overstroked it, but I believe the 2 clears the 6. It's hard to tell from the angle that we are working with. In our defense, we're doing the best we can with the tools we've got. And now he looks to be going to the side, Mark, and that tells me that the cue ball will be moving.
He might even go into the 3. And you know, that reminds me, Scott, of a shot he played earlier on. When his eye came off the ball, I think it was the 1 ball he was playing. His eye came off looking at another shot, and his eyes probably went to the 3 ball there to see what kind of contact he got. Went a little bit early and missed the 2 ball thin.
Yes, exactly. And I believe that's exactly what happened. And he split his focus again. And I think he's actually done that a number of times in this match. He's such a great player that he probably feels like he can do more than one thing at a time with the cue ball. And I understand that. But when it comes to playing this man in this event in round 6 of the Derby City Classic, you really need to bear down and pocket the ball.
I'm not sure who his coach is. I know his dad was very instrumental in his game when he was a youngster. And, you know, these are the kind of things that a coach can look at during a game and bring to your attention after the match and say, look, I can pick out 4 shots here where you didn't play one shot or the other. Your eyes were flicking to the next shot already. Something that a coach could really pick up on and definitely something he needs to work on, I think.
Well, that's a great point, and shout out to Corey Wolford, who's his father. If it's one thing that Shane Wolford has, it's a great support system. His family are amazing people. They own a beautiful pool room. And I think this is definitely untypical Shane Wolford that we're seeing right now. And I think that there's a combination of starstruck and maybe some fatigue. You can tell his decisions aren't 100%. But to your point with the coach, I used to not believe in coaches. I didn't think they were necessary. And of course, in my era,
Ang galing, 7-5 na.
In my era, a coach wasn't
in between racks, and you know, when players take their 5-minute break, you'll often see like the name Pia Filler, Josh Filler comes to mind, Fedor Gorst and Christina to catch, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and David Al-Qaedi. You'll always see them when they take a break, their partner. Doesn't necessarily have to be their coach, just somebody that might have noticed something that they're doing that they need to like nip in the bud now before it kind of costs them the match. And you'll see those people going out, and I think these 2 have just gone out for a break, so I guess we're going to nip out for a quick break as well. I better shut up talking.
It sounds good, Mark. We'll take a quick break as well. We'll be right back. All right. So Reyes, with a golden break a couple games ago, Wolford had an opportunity this last game and split his focus. Reyes takes advantage. He's back at the table, putting a little more focus into this rack, if you ask me. I have noticed, Mark, that he seems to be racking the 2 in the same spot, even though it's not on the back, and I don't know if that's against the rules or not, so I'm not going to critique it, even though I might just have.
Well, No, you're not. I mean, you're being honest, and honest is the way to go. And if you're putting balls in the same place all the time, you're pattern racking, as simple as that. And I've seen it so many times. And the word random is put there for a reason. Balls must be racked randomly. If you do it like 3 times in the same place, you're pattern racking.
Well, this was almost a repeat of the golden break. Did the 8 cover up the 1? I don't believe it did. From this angle, it's misleading, Mark, but I believe that Wolford can knock this 1 down, and we can see clearly now that the 259 is playable.
Yeah, that's the shot for definite. Just has to focus on this 2, get us straight on the 2 ball from the 1, and it's rack over. And that's just what he needs, I think, Shane. Especially when the balls are a little bit messy like this, the 3 balls a little bit awkward. So he'll be really happy to get a quick rack on the board here. EFREN trying to get on the hill, remember.
And EFREN is trying to get on the hill, and I totally agree. If he gets straight or gets a real nice angle, and I think he's landed perfect on this combination, Mark. And he's knocked it down. So this is a quick game. This is just what the doctor ordered. And in game number 13, Shane Wolford pulls it back within 1.
Combination.
And we've got a match, Mark. We have a match.
Tinira niya yung dos.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see it. Something very, very interesting there.
7-6 na.
Shane now racking the 2 ball behind the 1. What was interesting though, that 2 ball went in exactly the same place as it did before when he made the 1 and then cut that fine 2 into the side. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Yeah, and it's kind of come back and bitten him a little bit there because he's gone and left the 2 in the same place. Perfect for the 2-5-9 combo, so it's cost him a rack there.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I do believe that Wolford has the better break out of the 2. That's probably pretty obvious. Let's see if he can knock the 1 down. Oh, he's hit him a hair thin. He has dropped a ball, but you can see, or we can all see, that the 2 is impeding. The 4 might be impeding. He's going to have to roll out here, I believe, Mark.
Yeah, the 2 almost banked into that side again, went a little bit wide.
Push out.
The one that you've been watching.
So one thing I think that's important when you're playing a man like Reyes is the push out. You really, really need to think it through because the guy moves so good. His knowledge of the game is just on another level. Not that Shane played the wrong shot.
His knowledge on the game is on another level though.
Good, but he really needs to make sure this push out is the right play for him against EFREN Reyes.
Angat talaga siya. Yung mga alam niyang tira, hindi alam ng mga ibang
player. The 1 ball here, he's giving it back.
Tsaka yung mahirap tirahin.
Yeah, so if he's giving it back, Mark, that tells me that Shane made a good push. Did Shane have a plan when he pushed out? I don't believe the 1 goes. This angle could be fooling us. It's happened before, but boy, if it does go, it's tight.
Naglalaro. And may mga tirang lumalabas kay EFREN na hindi tinitira ng ibang player.
So now he's taking another look. I don't know. I like your option. I like him thinning the lower side on our screen, the lower side of the 1 and trying to miss the kiss and just coming down, maybe get behind the 7, 9, or 4. It looks like he wants to play this ball, Mark.
Yeah, he's kind of trying to convince himself to play it. He's had several looks at it. And played it with a huge amount of English as well. To position on the 2. I don't know why he played it that way.
Yeah, and in his defense,
Magiging
Mark, I
8-6 na yan.
believe that he
Una pala
changed his
makarating
mind
sa
and he
hill
was
si
going for a
Bata.
defensive play there. I think he wanted to hit it a fraction harder and use the 8 and 2 as cover on the 1. Although it looked like he was trying to play it, I think he made an adjustment and decided to play a defensive shot. Just didn't quite get there.
Well, I think we all know where he's going to be after this shot.
Safety.
Well,
I agree with you. Yeah, he's going to be in trouble. I thought he would be behind the 5, and I'm pretty sure that's what you were alluding to as well. I'm surprised he played it like this, but it's turned out just fine.
Mahirap na tirahin yan. Mahirap i-kick shot.
Yeah, at least playing it
Kung
the
si
way
EFREN,
he did.
makukuha ni EFREN yan, makikick shot ni EFREN yan. Ilang
He knew if
reels.
he could get it in that area there, he's got every
Pero kung
chance
hindi
of
si
getting
EFREN, mahirapan.
safe, if not hooked.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I agree, and you can see that Wolford's going to have to come behind the 1 here. Making contact is very important, obviously. Can he get separation?
Oh, good shot din, ah.
Oh, it's gone wrong.
Kaso lang, yung 1 ball,
Yeah, the
diretso na sa
window
side
has
pocket.
opened for Reyes. As you stated earlier, he's got an opportunity to get on the hill. Can he get out here? I feel like he can get out here.
Yeah, I think it's all about this first shot, personally. Get decent on the 2 ball to get over for the 3.
Yun, 2 balls doon lang.
I think your problems are over.
3
Gonna
balls
have to play a
dito.
draw shot here. If he is suspect on any, maybe it's the draw, but we saw him play a nice one earlier on.
Ano lang niya sa rail yung cue ball.
Agreed. He's got to pinch this back. I don't know how straight he is. Oh, he's actually got the pro angle.
Draw ball pala.
Problem now, Mark, is as you see, he is pretty straight on the 3, if not all the way straight. He's going to have to come back. And if he does come back, he doesn't want to stay low of the 4.
Sa 4.
Maybe can pinch a little bit of
Atras
angle.
uli. Side pocket ang 4.
Well, he can play this with some high right. It's
Talagang
quite an
si
old cloth, so
Bata.
it will grab.
Yeah, I agree. He's played the 3 about as good as you could play it. He cheated that pocket to get the cue ball off the rail.
Oop.
Yeah, got a
Kita
little
pa rin
bit.
5.
Yeah, a little body
doon sa
movement
kabila.
there. Little body movement there. He's real good at this shot. Uses a little outside or the kill. He uses a kill inside English as good as anybody.
Beautiful.
Galing talaga ni Bata.
Actually, I've got a little message for
Tama-tama sa
EFREN Reyes
preparation sa
fans
8.
who might be a little bit worried that he's going a
Tama-tama ang
little bit all
preparation niya sa
Strickland on
8.
us. He's got all that tape on the back of his cue, and it's not because for any other reason than he's just covering up a
Side
sponsor
pocket si
who
8.
he doesn't want to advertise, shall we say. So that's the story behind the tape on the cue. He's not going all Earl Strickland on us. He won't be wearing weights around the waist or anything.
Yun,
I
una
love it. I'm glad you
nakarating
said
sa
that
hill
because it was
si
driving me
Bata.
crazy. I was
8-6.
curious what he was doing. But in the meantime, he's looking to
8-6.
take a 2-game lead, and Reyes is on the hill against the young American phenom, Shane Wolford.
Mukhang diretso na
And
to.
it looks to be a
9-6
real
na
battle.
to, din
Do us a
diretso
favor,
na,
like and
ano to,
subscribe,
game over
hit
na
that
to.
notification bell. Railbirds TV bringing you all the content.
Di
And I
na
want to thank you guys
lulubayan
for
na
tuning
EFREN to.
in. I also want to thank
Didiretsuhin na to.
my co-colleague, Mr. Mark White, for joining us. I am your host, Scott Frost. Mark White, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, now you're not going to get away with things so easy. Earlier on, I asked you a question to name your favourite game. It's got to be 9 or 10 ball. It can be 8 ball, I guess, as well. 8, 9 or 10 ball. What race, what break format, template, triangle, alternate or winner breaks?
Well, I do like the old school 9-ball. I have a pretty powerful 9-ball break, but I like the old school. But now that I've played this game and I'm playing it a little bit more with this format, I've got to be honest. I think this format is about as good as it gets for the game of 9-ball. I don't mind if it's a tournament race, maybe a race to 11 would be a little bit better than 9, especially as good as everybody's playing nowadays. But a fair question indeed. You notice Reyes has dropped one on the break, and he's got position, Mark. Does he close it out here?
Well, if he does, it will be kind of a little surprise to me. I would have called Shane Wolford to be the winner, even though EFREN is slightly higher in the Fargo rate, but given age and the type of tournament that it is, we know how long it can go on. I thought Shane would have just outfired him slightly, but if anyone's to blame, it's Shane for today, uncharacteristically.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would have put Wolford as a slight favorite. I don't know that a lot of people or a lot of our viewers would agree with that, but we're just talking about natural talent, young nerves. But it never ceases to amaze me that knowledge and experience can always overcome. Reyes going to the 6 now, and if he lands good on this 6, I believe the party is over.
Yeah, he's shrugging his shoulders there, looking up to the skies. He wanted a little bit, about another foot or so on the cue ball there.
Tinuturo niya dapat doon ang bola, doon ang cue ball.
Yeah, just to finish off what you were saying, really, class is permanent, form is temporary, and this guy has more experience. I mean, the best player in my eyes that's ever played the game, and still got it at 69 years old, and that shows
69 years old, pero hindi mo pwedeng.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It definitely shows how good he is. And taking third in the discipline prior in a 500-plus field one-pocket tournament is absolutely amazing because you have to use brains and energy. It's like a double wear-down effect. Reyes playing for 3 balls to win this match in a slight upset, if you ask me. He's a little straight, Mark, on the 7. What does he do?
Maybe
straight ball
draws it back and gives himself back to where he is now. Could be the play, just draw the cue ball back where he is now. Oh, he's gone long distance. I would have suggested that, but I didn't think he'd play it. What a great shot.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great shot. This tells you the class of player he is under the pressure. He draws length of the table, looking to seal the deal here.
Mas gumagaling siya pag under pressure siya.
9-6
Mas nagpapakita siya ng mga magic
in this tournament. Kind of unpredictable. He's got
hindi
this
siya
9
kinakabahan.
to make it happen.
Ibang player parang pag under pressure kabado,
And
wala
he's
na.
done it, Mark.
Game
he
over.
Has done it. It's
Ang
been
galing
an
ni EFREN.
absolute pleasure
Ang
working
galing ni
with
Bata.
you. Thank you all
Game
for
over
tuning
na, ang galing
in.
ni Bata
Do you have
talaga.
any last words
Saan ka
for us,
pa?
Mark? Thank you so much.
Kaya
Let us
daming
know.
tagahanga tong
I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. It's another thing I can tick off my bucket list. I've commentated with the great Scott Frost. Thank you, Scott.
Okay, di hanggang sa susunod muli, mga ka-EFREN dyan.
Until next time, you all have a great
At
night.
yung mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, mag-subscribe naman kayo sa sa channel ko. Bye muna ngayon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.